Well, so hi guys, how are you all doing? I hope all of you are doing well and all of you are safe with your families today. As you can see, we're with the big boss of Maruti Suzuki, Shashank Srivastava, of course, is the senior executive director for sales and marketing. And today, we're going to talk about some of his upcoming cars, especially the MPVs that they're going to launch very soon, maybe in the next month. Now, you all know what MPVs I'm talking about. It's the XL6 as well as the Ertiga. And both these cars are available at dealerships for booking right now. You can't buy them off, but you can book them for 11,000 rupees. So first of all, Shashank-san, thank you so much for having us today. Just briefly wanted to ask you, what should the buyer expect from both these new cars, and what are the big differences going to be between them?
Yeah, so Ashish, if you see very recently past, we have observed consumers moving away from pure functionality in terms of their buying criteria to something related more to design aspects, to features, to a lot of technology. In other words, the aspiration element seems to be going up amongst the Indian buyers, and that's what we are trying to address. If you see our recent launches, the new Celerio which we launched in November, very recently the new Baleno, the new Wagon-R, and now we are going to launch these two new MPVs, the XL6 on the 21st of April, and on the 15th of April we are going to launch the new Ertiga. So we have followed the same principle, which is basically to make the product more aspirational. And we have also tried to load a lot of technology and features, and that is what the new Ertiga and the new XL6 will be about.
Okay. The big news, of course, is going to be the upgrade engine that's the buzz, and also the new gearbox. So can you give us a little brief about that? Can you just tell us about the product?
Yeah. So if you see the changes, one, of course, you rightly mentioned the new K15 series engine with the smart hybrid technology. That makes the performance very good. At the same time, it's very fuel efficient. Second is again 680 transmission with paddle shift. That's the other big change. The third is a lot of technology, as I mentioned, including the Suzuki Connect, which now comes factory fitted. We started it with the Baleno recently, as you know, and now both in XL6 as well as here. And it comes with the second and the third seat reclining as well. So that was another feedback which our consumers gave, that for added comfort, we need to have the reclining portion even in the second and the third row. And that's what these two vehicles will be having. Apart from that, there are host of features, including the new infotainment system, but other things which we will reveal at the time of the launch. So there will be many more features. That's the general direction we are taking. Yeah.
Well, I think, guys, the big news, of course, was that the car will have paddle shifters finally. That's something a lot of you were asking about. When will paddle shifters come on Maruti Suzuki cars? So there you heard it. It's going to come on the automatic versions of both the cars. Shashank-san, talking about the MPV segment, how do you see it growing? Because you are in a very sweet spot, so to say, because you've got two MPVs which really cater to a large audience. So how do you see this segment per se? How do you see it growing? And vis-a-vis SUVs, what do you think? Is there a connection between them? And do you think?
So it's a great question, because I think this is one segment which is also getting a lot of interest among different type of consumers. So if you trace the history of this segment, used to be about 95,000, 100,000 volumes just about 8-9 years back. We introduced the Ertiga in 2012, and that was the establishing of the first compact MPV. Earlier the MPV, the Innova, was really bigger than this. Ertiga met with instant success. This segment has been till 2019 roughly around 200,000, 190, 180, 190, 200,000, that range per year. And Maruti Suzuki volumes in this have been around 65,000 a year. In other words, about 5,500 a month. Market share being about 34-35%. But last 3 years, what we have observed is that consumers who were buying this car only because of its functionality. If you had a large number of family members and you wanted to travel together, that seemed to be the number one reason for buying this car. However, what we find now is that different types of consumers are now getting into buying and getting interest in the MPVs for lifestyle activities. And in fact, our new advertisement for this new Ertiga actually talks about those activities. And the tagline is "Bring Back Together," which is really about getting the activities back again after a long time because of COVID. So this segment actually is now, last year if you see, is 260,000 units, 259,000 or so. And Maruti Suzuki has increased from that 65,000 annually to almost 157,000 we did last year. As a result, our market share has gone up to almost 61%. So that's the segment itself is growing. It's now about 8% of the market. Used to be 4 or 5% of the market. So the share of the segment has increased. The absolute volumes have increased. Maruti Suzuki's volumes have also increased. We are selling about 13,500 a month now. 10,000 of Ertiga and about 3,500 of XL6.
Okay, so that's a massive number. Also, Shashank, since you're talking about numbers and distribution, how are you coping with the shortage of semiconductors? Is there improvement? Do you see things improving at the end of the year?
Yeah, so we have been seeing a good improvement last 6 months, as I've said earlier. September seemed to be the nadir of our problems. We were only at 40% of our production in September last. October was about 60%. November was 85%. December was about 91, 92%. Feb was 95. March also was 95%. And the things were improving and have been improving. However, the problem hasn't gone away. And I foresee that in this quarter also the problem will continue. And a very common question that I am asked these days is, when will situation become 100% normal? And my short answer is, I don't know, because it's a very complex supply chain that is involved. It's not just Maruti Suzuki, but OEMs across, not only in India, but across the globe. All OEMs have been affected by it. So it's a very complex situation. I do know that this quarter will be a problem. And hopefully we will see better times going forward. The visibility at the moment is only for this quarter, and I can say it's not 100% yet.
So my last question today is going to be about, because fuel prices are rising, you're the only manufacturer who's got such a large range of CNG cars. When do we see CNG on Nexa range of cars? Because a lot of people ask me that question. When is the Baleno coming out with the CNG version?
So interesting that you asked this question, because many of our customers of Nexa are asking this question. So earlier we used to think that probably the profile of consumers we were addressing in the Nexa may not keep their mileage as a priority. But however, seeing the fuel prices upward of 100 rupees in both gasoline as well as diesel, the running cost always has been an important criteria for buying for Indian consumers. So we get a lot of feedback from consumers of Nexa that why is it that no Nexa model has a CNG. So we are currently evaluating which Nexa product can come with the CNG. And I think we are doing that feasibility study, and definitely we would like to introduce some models of Nexa also with CNG.
Yeah, because you're the only ones who right now has it for both commercial as well as for private, and you have the most extensive catalog. So guys, that was Shashank Srivastava, of course, talking about the Ertiga and the XL6 specifically. And of course, the big highlight, according to me, is that both of them will come with PAL shifters. So if you are an enthusiast, if you enjoy driving yourself and travel with your entire family, then definitely check both these cars out once they're available at dealerships, which is going to happen really soon. Next couple of weeks maybe, you'll see them at Maruti Suzuki Arena dealership as well as a Nexa dealership. Thank you so much, Shashank, and we'll see you very soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.